Hola! Hi, fourth graders. Today we're going to be making sugar skull drawings based on the holiday Dia de los Muertos that they celebrate in Mexico. So what is Dia de los Muertos? Well, it is a big national holiday in which the people of Mexico celebrate their ancestors. And one way that they do it is by making these sugar skulls, and it's actually made out of sugar. But another thing that can be done is these beautiful drawings of sugar skulls. Typically, it starts with a skull, and then they decorate it with usually organic designs like floral patterns or vines, but sometimes geometric patterns as well. And then always filled with bright colors. So I'm going to walk you through first drawing the sugar skull, and then secondly adding some of those details. All right, so what you need to get started: piece of white paper, pencil, if you have one, a Sharpie is good to outline with afterwards, and then finally markers. All right, so I've got my handy dandy videographer Ben.
Yep.
Say hi, Ben.
Hello, everyone.
Filming us. So Ben, come on over here and let's get started. All right, I'm gonna take my hat off for the drawing. Sorry guys, a little bit in my eyes. So you're going to start with the basic skull shape. So if you look at it, this part of the skull, the top of the head, is kind of a rounded crown. These bones right here are actually your cheekbones. Down here is the top part of your jaw, and here's the bottom part of your jaw. So let's get started drawing that. Okay, so we're going to start with the big crown of the skull. So you're going to make kind of a rounded, almost, if you picture, it's almost like this is a full circle, but the bottom part of the circle is cut off. So it's not just this, it's more rounded. So a big round top. All right. You know what I just realized? I should be drawing in Sharpie. Why am I drawing in Sharpie, not in pencil? So you can see it. Why are you drawing in pencil, not in Sharpie? What do you think, Ben?
Because if you make a mistake, you can't erase Sharpie, but you can erase pencil.
You got it. So you guys draw in pencil, even though I'm doing Sharpie. Okay. All right, so let's go back. I'm gonna just trace right over that dome that I just drew. All right, and that is step one. Oh boy, see, this is why you always do pencil first. All right, so let's go to the cheekbones. So the cheekbones come out kind of like this on each side. All right, and then if you look, the cheekbone comes across here and comes down to the top of your jaw. So let's make that nice curve down like this. Nice curve down like this. All right, it's looking pretty goofy. Let's finish it up. So now we're going to curve that around here, and that's this shape right there. Okay? All right, we'll add some teeth in there. Line across like this, and that's that line. Another horizontal line across, although it is slightly curved if you look close. Then we'll draw one line down the middle. And if you have room, I would draw a couple more sets of lines on each side of that. Okay, so that's where you should be so far. All right, let's move on. So let's look at these two shapes here. This right here is a continuation of the curve of the dome. So if you continue that curve, comes around like this, out to about here. Continue this, comes out to about there. All right, now we've got to get the bottom part of the jaw. Comes down like this, flattens out a little bit, and then it comes back up. All right, that's the basic shape. So let's add in some of the inner details. First, you've got to have eyes. Now, one thing you got to know about eyes is that eyes are actually in the middle of your head. So your eyes for your skull should be about here. And it's not even the actual eyes, but what's called the eye sockets. So on a human, the eyeballs would fit right there inside the eye sockets. Kind of gross sounding, but true. All right, the next thing you want to do is it's called the nasal cavity. And in the sugar skulls, they're either drawn as a little upside down heart like that, or if you prefer, you can have two disconnected teardrop shapes like that. All right, that's it for the skull. Then comes the fun part. So like I said before, a lot of times sugar skulls have organic designs. And organic means inspired by nature. So typical patterns might be floral patterns or leaf patterns or vine patterns. Very natural and organic. That's what you're going to start filling your sugar skull with to begin with. So this one I already completed. This one you can see, so the basic shape. Oh, one more thing that I forgot to add. I'll go back to that in one sec. But in general, I added a lot of floral patterns in there, half flowers. I added vines and leaves. I added a lot of these swirls. Yes, this right here is what I forgot. So in between your two bones, this part of the jawbone and the bottom part of the jawbone is actually a gap, a hole. So if you want to show that gap, you add in a line on either side like that, and that could be shaded in black to show that it's a gap. Okay, so let's start brainstorming about different types of designs. I don't want to make it the same as this one. I can use some of the same elements, but let's think of different types of designs that could be added. Let's say you're not into flowers. That's fine. This one I'll do less flowers on. So maybe I could be inspired by the negative space right here, the shape in there, and start with a shape like that. Ooh, looks angry. And then maybe curve it up like this. All right, maybe my next pattern would be also inspired by this type of a shape. And again, I am sticking with a more organic type of a pattern, natural, but I can add some geometric shapes in there as well. So maybe I want to come across here like this. Maybe I'll make those into leaves. Okay. All right. Let's come down. So I like the way on this one that these swirls kind of ended up looking like a mustache. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to do that again because that was kind of fun. Swirl. And this swirl. All right. All right, so I want you to be thinking about how much of the space should be filled. If you look at this one, it's not completely filled with color. It's not completely filled with drawing. But I have added enough that it adds interest to fill in the biggest spaces. So I would say it probably needs some more drawings up in here, maybe some drawings in the cheekbones, maybe along in the jawline. Another thing that you should do before you move on, silly Mrs. Conroe, is erase any pencil lines that might show through. Okay, so I'm actually not going to show you any more designs or patterns because I want you to come up with them on your own. but be thinking about the space. When you get to the coloring, I did use markers, obviously. I even pulled in a couple Sharpies because I liked the really bright fluorescence. So be creative, fill it with colors, fill it with patterns, fill it with designs, and happy Dia de los Muertos. Goodbye, fourth graders. I miss you.